Morning, good morning. I know it's a little bit early, but by about 10 minutes or so, but I'm already starting to feel comfort again, so I figured it'd be good to go ahead and get started. That way, if I have to call it a day, we at least get a little bit of streaming in. Um, just a little reminder that there is the Boss Hunter Challenge, I believe, that is ongoing still. I think it ends today. I don't know when exactly that will shut down. I presume around the time that our daily rollover happens. But from what I understand, they didn't really make it completely clear, but I guess there was a new costume that you could get with this round, and a lot of people have been tweeting out their dissatisfaction that that wasn't clearly portrayed or something. So I guess a lot of people missed out on that or whatever. So unfortunately, apparently that was the case. I don't really do a, I don't stringently collect costumes, so I didn't even actually participate in this event. So mostly because I've just been feeling pretty miserable. But just thought I'd mention that you do have a few hours left if you want to try and get in on that. Good morning, Bones. Glad you could make it. Um, I will mention that pain and discomfort that I'm feeling has been increasing. The last few days have been really bad. So I'm hoping that, while I was hoping that I wouldn't have to cancel very much this week, I have a fear that I probably will be. It may even include me having to skip this week's house tours. I'm really not sure because, as it is, just talking kind of aggravates it because of the jaw movement. In fact, when I eat, the last couple of days I've had to use an ice pack on the side of my ear and jaw just to get it to calm down long enough for me to eat. Otherwise, I find it troublesome to even do that much. So the talking and stuff is probably going to aggravate it. And if the house chores are anything to go by, we usually run those for at least a couple hours, and I'm not sure I'll be able to make it that long without really breaking down and having some really bad times of it. Um, I'm supposed to meet with the specialist next week. I think it's next Wednesday, the same day that we do the CBDC showcase. I'll be doing the showcase in the morning, and then in the afternoon is when my doctor's appointment is. Uh, the goal is to try and post the new um, CBDC for next month, the day after, or whenever the new month starts. But depending on what all they put me through during the doctor visit, I have no idea what to expect, really. I suspect it's going to be mostly just kind of a consultation where they say, um, uh, okay, what's been the trouble, and then they'll set up a new appointment for the testing and stuff. So I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, but yeah. So if I kind of go quiet, that's probably why. I know usually I try to keep up a constant rattling of talking, but just I don't want to miss too much of the streaming, so we're gonna work on a little bitty like a wishing well type of thing today. Well, my husband would probably agree with you that I shouldn't be, but I keep telling him I feel guilty about not streaming as much as I'd like to. So we're going to do this today. Again, it's probably going to be a really short little thing, but at least you guys know where I'm at as far as what to expect this week. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to try and do at least the tours, but again, it may get pushed until after the doctor visit, maybe even the second one. It's unfortunate. I was hoping to stay on track with the tours at least, but it's getting worse and worse. So just fair warning for those of you that have been uh, bearing with me through all this. Um, So yeah, what did I say? Yeah, I'm even finding it hard to concentrate. The wishing well thing. Now, normally we do the wishing well like a traditional one that has water. I think today's we're going to do it as like a gardening kind of planter. It's going to be oversized compared to some that you might see in actual house gardens, but what we could. So, because I'm going to be using it as kind of a planter, um, I'm not going to worry about what it looks like on the inside of the base. So we're just going to use some solid books, I think. And I think we'll just use the yellow ones. What size? All right, Buns. If I'm grimacing and stuff, I apologize. It's uh, like little shots of stabbing pains going through. Okay, now I'm gonna. I think that'll work. I know that's not exactly flush with the ground, but I guess I could. Welcome back, Bone. Oh, yeah. I saw your tweet about it. I noted it on my list. Make sure I check in there. I'm a little bigger than you expected, huh? That's how the projects go, though. You start out small, and then it just kind of keeps growing. Before you know it, you have like a full plot kind of thing. Still haven't gotten around to seeing what Aurora's working on. Now she's got several entries. Hmm. Typically, if I was doing this for like a permanent display, I would probably use the teal flowers that you craft. I like those a lot better. They're a lot prettier. Get some greenery and some color. And the way I'm doing it now, I have to use multiple pieces because not only do I have to use the ferns for the greenery, but I'm going to have to use something else for the flowers. The only reason I don't like using. I like the one that Cheeky showed us. Those in. See how quickly these add up. All for just a little flower box. Do it differently. You could make it a round base if you wanted. Just following the same thing that we did for like the table lamps. You make a round one and then fill in the top with some flowers. If you wanted to make it hollow, I would probably do it maybe end to end instead of spine to spine. Let me see if I can what I'm talking about. Like put up. You might even be able to get away with fewer. Size the book up how you want. Now the design is going to look a little. You don't want it to be mismatchy like that. I would probably copy this one for and overlap it so it covers up the edge of that. That makes sense. And even go pushing it. I don't see it on the side either. Just got this part making it solid. Same over here. Now to cover up this part, you would want to replicate this one. You can tell the pain's kind of gone. It comes and goes. So if I'm talking more, that's because it's not hurting as bad. And that's the way it does throughout the entire day. It just comes and goes and comes and goes. And it's very annoying, uncomfortable, and unpredictable. There's like the only thing I know for sure that kind of triggers it is eating is usually the worst one. So now you have this little, if you wanted to get fancy, you could cover these with the spines as well if you wanted. It just means more books you're using. And to size it down just a little, kind of like we did with the house and set it so that the edges aren't showing. Like that. And do the same for the other side and have it more finished look. Don't have to, but that's the side. Hey, Poi, good morning. How's your husband doing? Hoping we'd see how I flip. And see, even these corners that get overlapped, they kind of form a strange little. This way, at least you get your little hollow center if you want to add some kind of a water bit in it. Now, if you want it bigger, obviously you make the sides like 2 books wide, something that fashion. And again, you can do the little roofing different as well. Um, a lot of them are just the 2 sides, but if you want to make it more conical, you can do it that way. I've seen some that use like triangle shapes, like 4 triangles, like you got the front and the back and then the 2 sides, but others, it's more like a gazebo top. It's more rounded. I've seen some have it pretty flat. You could do a flat one if you don't want the steeple version. Uh, if you're using it as a little garden bed like this, you probably don't have to get too detailed as far as adding the little windy thing for the bucket if you don't want to. Um, you could have both. If you have the steeple part a little higher, you could have not only this little flower bed, maybe keep the flowers shorter here, and then have the little hanging bucket and have it filled with flowers too, that way. For that one, I'd probably go with the, what's it called? I'd probably try and get away with the hanging plant. I know it's got the little hooky thing here, but maybe you kind of fake it in by attaching it to one of the poles and then making it look like the bucket, like so. But again, you'd want your roof a little higher, I think, or at least keep your flowers in this part of the bed more trim so that they're not showing through. But you see what I'm talking about. You could probably get away with doing it like attached to the post, but make it look like it's the bucket. But this is if you want an empty base. Now, if you're trying to think of what to use for water, when it's something smaller like this, layered glass works really great. 2 or 3 layers would probably be enough. Um, give it a little bit of color, but still see-through. So again, if you're using the grass, you might want to lay something that's bluish at the bottom, um, or dark blue or a light blue, so that you don't see the grass. Because like if you the glass here, gonna leave it out. So I layer it up a little bit to give it a little bit of color. You can see that you can clearly see the grass still. So I would lay something like either a blue book or like an orange wall or something, just something to kind of represent bottom of the water. Or if you want to just layer it with rocks, some stones or something, that would be fine. And then you would have your bucket or whatever dangling above or inside it or halfway in it, however you want it. Other things you could use for water if you don't mind it not being transparent. Um, well, you could use the Oran wall for like bubbly water. You could use the upside down silver chalice, though I think that's better used for like an actual pond or an actual lake or beach or something, because again it has that privilege of being having the collision on it work a little funny so that it looks like you're wading into the water. So I would reserve that for those kind of use. Something like this, I would stick with the glass. You could use an upside down goblet or something that also might have a little bit of a shiny, watery look. There's talking about here. There's the glass empty. Turn it upside down and enlarge it. It has a little bit of a shiny, watery look. It too, you can see right through it. So again, it really depends on what kind of look you're going for. I know a lot of folks like using this one for like buckets of water because it has a round shape and it fits the water bucket really good. So, and since the books are kind of thick, it will hide some of it if you have to bigger. But the bottoms of glasses, again, you could use just a solid blue color, like if you have a blue book. Water might be a little different color because it's darker on one end than it is on the other. But that is a, a possibility. That you could use like the exile table. That's kind of a nice rich blue. Again, the orange wall is a nice bluish color. There's also the frost spore, I think it is. This one, it behaves a little odder because when you turn it upside down, it does have animation to it. It's really subtle and it's probably not going to be as easily seen at this size than if you had put it uh, like in a large area, like a moat kind of scenario, like around a castle or something. You might not notice it. And you can see because of the odd shape, it pokes out here and there, so you may have to play around with sizes and stuff. But it actually has an animation that almost looks like rising and falling water. Just kind of very subtly goes up and down. So when you have it in a big area, um, and that movement shows, it looks like the water's kind of going up the bank and then it recedes. So it gives it a little bit of an illusion. It's solid though, so when you walk atop it, you're directly on top of it, and it's opaque, so you don't see any of like the fishies and stuff down in the water. But It's again, it's an alternative depending on what you're going for. Me. So no word on your husband, boy? Wondering. I hope it's okay to ask. But I was thinking of him this weekend. Excuse me. So for the bucket itself, traditionally most of us just use the actual bucket. Um, but that's not to say you have to use that. There's other things you could probably fake in, especially if you're going to use it as a flower bed thing. Probably use anything that's like barrel shaped and just be able to hide the top part by filling it, covering it with flowers or something. So like, I think you could do like a kind of containers I might have. February 3rd. Oh, that's such a long time away. But I feel for you because I've been waiting for a little over a month now for mine. I know that's probably frustrating, but just one of those things, I guess. Gotta wait it out. I don't know. Maybe we should take that as maybe it's not so serious or something if they're willing to wait. That makes sense. I figure I'm probably up for scans myself because probably wouldn't know what else going on inside there. Like, say maybe I want to use this as the little pot instead of the actual bucket. I could probably cover the top part up with flowers and make it look as if, pretend that it was empty when it really isn't. So just, you can do this with any container really, pot lighter. I was just saying it's a long wait. I hope you guys can stay positive even after that's such a long wait. I know it's been rough on me. Do the ads play pretty regular? I never really paid attention to that. I know I could probably get like Twitch Turbo or something to be able to remove those, but I don't know. Just never thought it was super necessary. And I've been going on this long with the ads, so yes, I just figured, well, I've left it that way for so long now. It's just like on YouTube, I just now went ahead and set up an actual like advert video. It's really goofy looking, and you only see it if you're not subscribed to my channel. But I've had that channel for like close to 2 years now, and I never thought to put in because I don't really do videos stuff. I mean, as it is, all of the videos on there are pretty much just raw footage from the stream. That's all it is. I don't add like title pages and credits or subscribe now blurps and everything. So I have no the foggiest clue how to do that. So when they said the only way I can put like a description for those that are new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, the only way I could do that is if I actually added a little video snippet. And I was like, I don't know how to make a video, but I tried out a couple of ones recently, and so there's one up there now. It's got like the watermarks from the program I use like splashed across it, and it's like, well, it shows some examples of some of the stuff we work on, and hopefully catch some attention. The music is kind of a little weird. My son says that doesn't match anything about what you're doing. And it's like, well, that's the music that came with it, so I just left it as it was. Anyway, you can fill it up, keep adding flowers and stuff to hide the parts you don't want, and use that as your bucket if you don't want to use the traditional bucket. Um, you could even make your own bucket by pretend like this is the bucket if you want. Just make a smaller one, and there you have a little book bucket. But again, the roofs you can do differently. The ones I'm seeing here on this little sample page I've got up. Again, there's like the the two steeple, then there's the four steeple, like two and the two, and then once it's a little bit more round, like a gazebo top. I see a few that are just perfectly flat, which is a little weird, but I guess that's an option. Most of them are like this one. Of course, you could set this up differently if you want um, more books or layer the books so that it looks more like a tiled roofing. If that makes sense. Smaller. The only thing is, again, the smaller you make the books, the less likely that you're going to see them from any kind of a distance. As it is, we've seen how troublesome the house is, and those are pretty big. But you can see how the one with the bigger books shows up pretty far, whereas as opposed to the other that doesn't. But I think I mostly notice that because I tend to play with my camera zoomed out quite a bit. I don't like, I think the traditional camera views are right about here, somewhere around there. So you can see it looks pretty okay from, if you're running around with your character. It doesn't look too bad. But with someone like me that plays with the camera zoomed out, I notice that disappearing act quite a lot. And again, it's frustrating for taking a good overall screenshot. I don't know if you noticed the ones that I posted on Twitter trying to show some of the landscaping we did. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have trouble getting the house to show up. So I was really tinkering with angles. And so it didn't quite show it as nicely as if we had been able to come out here and take a good long distance shot of everything because the house doesn't show up. So I thought it'd be kind of weird if I left it like that. But yeah, uh, this weekend I'll probably be working on trying to get prepared for next month's CBC so that I'll be ready to pass out copies of the little book house for those that want to participate so that you guys have it pretty much from the get-go and don't have to wait on me to get those to you. That way you have the entire month to work on decorating it, interior and outside and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, you only get ads on the mobile version. Well, I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. Other types of, if you don't want to stick with the books like I'm doing, there's lots of other materials you can make your, called again, wishing well thingy out of. If you're going for stones of some sort, obviously you can do it stone by stone. Just find a single pearly stone or gray stone or sandstone that you like and stick with that. You could use the Draken fences. Those are really good. I've done that with a couple of ones myself. Yeah, I think I want to say it's lilies. Maybe it's celery. Let me try. I get my alts mixed up as to whose plot is what theme. I think this is the one. Yeah. So I made one over here. Yes. This is using the Draken fences, I believe, even for the little roofing. I did it for. You can see I did it a little bit different. I mean, I actually got 4 poles instead of just the 2, and then I did a little cross for the attachment for the bucket string, just using a hanging cable. And I want to say, yeah, I actually went and used the silver chalice. I think it was because I had several extras and I just wanted to put it somewhere. I'd actually, I think, started to put in a bigger pond kind of thing somewhere on this property and decided against it. And I thought, well, I'm going to use it somewhere. So I went ahead and just used it in the, but for me, if you can, I wouldn't use it there. Don't do like me. But I think, yeah, you look beneath that, I added, um, this is, see how it changes the ground? It looks more blue than green. I didn't have to add another color or material down below to make it look different. So yeah, just a difference. The only reason I used the Drake and Finches was because that was most of the materials that I used for a lot of the other structures. So I wanted it to kind of match. But this shows you can that it works really good for a stone look. You don't even hardly notice the skulls and stuff that are in it. They're so tiny anyway. Um, it's on the big side, especially for her, but oh well. Again, it was one of those things, if you come out from a distance, you'll see that wall piece fences disappear, kind of go bye-bye, and all you see is the water there. So again, it's just one of those deals. I'm trying to think if I've got another one. I think that was, I think it was name. Let me see if it comes up on. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I just go. So let me try Lily's place. I think Lily's is actually the Asian one. Probably be easier if I just switch characters. I know for sure. Yeah. Maybe it's Ginger. I'm looking for the Valentine one. I have them all listed on the front page of my Twitch channel page, but I don't want to look at that because then my video will be going and it'll kind of look a little, and it'll probably echo as well. Yeah, this one has another type of wishing well. This one I just used, I think it was Draken pieces. Yeah, Draken, I think it was cylinders, the hollow ones, and then the dome for the top. And again, I decided to go with the 4 pillars instead of the 2. I think it just, I don't know, it makes more sense to me for those. For that particular, the round one especially, just looks like it needs those extra supports. But if you want to leave it 2, that's perfectly fine. But you can see I use Draken pillars even for the supports. And again, it's a little on the oversized, even the top kind of goes above her head, but for if your character is a little taller race, you might not notice it too bad. But just a couple of examples of different ways you can do it. For this one, I think I actually winding river for the water here, so it has a little bit of movement. And of course, it's big enough for you to actually jump into, because that's how you get into the bunker in this particular plot. But just a couple examples. I know we've seen plenty others, much more pretty examples of uh, wishing wells and stuff. Now, that said, if you decide for your particular one that you want to actually use the Wishing Well Fab Kit, make sure you install that first and then build around it. But we have seen some really nice modifications of that particular Fab Kit as well. Can't think of any names off the top of my head, but no, we've seen a few. Because I know there was one they chose to change like the top of it, give it a different type of little roof and everything, so that looked really nice. It better matched their buildings and stuff. And again, if you decide maybe you want it bigger, smaller, then you make it. Just make it all into one little group set, and then you can adjust the size from there. I think this one will leave like it is. And the idea is I think I'm going to just make this area a lot of little gardening bits. I might even actually have a little uh, vegetable garden here. Just make this a whole little space of different kinds of flowering stuff. That's the idea anyway. We'll see. Maybe I'll end up moving it over here to the smaller space and then use this as like more like a patio kind of thing. Have a little gazebo and a picnic area and that kind of stuff. I guess you and your puns. Okay, so I think I think we're going to go ahead and call it for today. I'm ending on a good note. The pain has kind of subsided a little bit, but I can feel it's trying to come back again. And rather than wait till it does, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Just a reminder for those of you that have been following along, we are currently under a CBDC for this month. This one's theme is New Year's resolutions. So if you're interested in getting in on that, you still have about a week or so to go. The showcase is next Wednesday, I believe. Well, not Wednesday. I guess it'd be that Tuesday. Yeah, because Wednesday's the next month. So next Tuesday is the showcase for the C. So you have at least until then to submit your project for this month. Again, it doesn't have to be an actual resolution that you may have given yourself, especially if you don't actually do that practice every year. You could just pluck a commonly used one that a lot of people do, like save more money or learn a new language or something like that. Just do a quick Google for common New Year's resolutions. I'm sure you'll find a listing of a bunch of them that you can choose from. And basically, your task this month is to take that resolution and then build something that relates to it. So it's very uh, open to interpretation. For example, um, you have chosen the one like learn a new language. You could do a classroom, maybe you make the blackboard with a sentence that's been broken down, into its parts, subject, verb, and everything, but it's in the language that you're wanting, maybe it's in French or something. Um, Maybe you just want, say you want to learn French and can't think of anything else other than maybe something that represents the country of the language. So you could use like the Eiffel Tower, build one of those, or someone said that they were thinking about doing a painting of something. You could do that as well. Uh, as long as it represents in some way the resolution that you're trying to convey, it's perfectly allowed. Like I said, if you want to do one, like a lot of people make a resolution to go on a nice trip uh, in the new year, you could do an open sort of packed suitcase if you want to keep it small. If you want to go a little bigger, then maybe travel agency. with like a images of islands and little airplanes and stuff like that. Or you can go even bigger and do like the airport that you're waiting in the check-in line or something. Or you want to go even bigger than that, actually have your destination as your deal, so maybe you're going to some kind of resort, or you maybe want to go on a cruise. You could do the ship kind of thing, or this just you can take it any way you want. Maybe you just want to do a map. You want to, you're showing your plane route from point A to point B and that kind of thing. So again, I've left it as open as I can to encourage as many people to participate as possible. Because again, if you put too many restrictions in, it becomes a little tricky for folks. Maybe they don't feel like they have as much room for freedom of expression as far as how they want to interpret what is what. So that way, if more than one person picks the same resolution, there's a lot of wiggle room and less likely for them to actually come up with the exact same concept. Technically, even if they did, the way they put them together probably won't be the same, but that kind of releases a little bit of the anxiety, I think, of people maybe accidentally picking the same thing as someone else. So again, you have a little over a week, I think, get that in order. If you want to participate, just message me either in-game, via Twitter, Twitch, the forums, however you want to reach out to me to let me know where it is, what region it's located on, what it is, and in what way your project relates to it, just so that I don't misinterpret it myself. Um, and any extra info that you want to give, if you want to say how many pieces you used, or the inspiration behind it, or why you picked this particular resolution, if it's something personal for you, an actual thing that you're really wanting to do for the new year, feel free to include that information. I will mention it on the showcase. As well, don't forget, I'm still doing the Friday freebie thing via Twitter. um, Not a lot of people seem interested in it, which is kind of surprising because it's not like I'm offering my own junk. It's actual in-game decor pieces that you can get from Carbine. It's a little decor pack, like 30 plus pieces, I think. It is Winterfest, so maybe there's just not a lot of interest in that particular kind of decor. Um, hey, Tails. Glad you could join us. Kind of on the other end of it. We're getting ready to close up, unfortunately, but I'm glad you could stop by anyway. And yes, we are also always amazed at the creativity that builders have. It's one of the reasons why I do the show, is to try and encourage that creativity. But if you do follow me on Twitter, keep an eye out for the Friday freebie. Right now, for the next probably several weeks, I will be giving away a decor pack code each week until I run out of them. There were some leftovers from an event we did a little bit back. So uh, I lost my train of thought. um, Gosh, what was I saying? Something about the CBDC, I think. Anyway, that's okay, Poi. Even if you did get one before, it's okay if you want to get another one. I'm more than happy. Again, I'm not even restricting people. If they won one last week, I'm not saying they can't try out for another one the next week. It's completely up for grabs. So you're welcome to join in on it. Don't refrain from yourself. As it is, my husband's trying to convince me to keep one for myself. I was like, no, no, I got these for others, and I want to, give out as many as I can. But yeah, if you want to join in on it, even if you got one during that event that we did before, go for it. The more the merrier. Really, it's just, again, a little attention grabber for those that don't follow us, haven't seen what we've been working on and stuff. It's just an opportunity to kind of spread some more pictures of some of the things. That's why I'm kind of picking oddball pieces of like housing and stuff. Like, not all of us post pictures of our toilets or our fireplaces and stuff. So I thought this would be kind of a fun way to kind of just get little bits out, that kind of thing. And I've been trying to pick things that I figure a lot of people already have. That way they don't feel like they have to build something new. They can just post what they already have built. So yeah. Anyway, again, I still can't remember what I was. Um, yeah, that's what he keeps saying, but I probably won't. I don't know. I just feel guilty, as it was when we got some of that on the 50th House Tours episode. I really felt guilty about keeping one of the T-shirts for myself, but I did. I wear it every now and then, but I still think, oh, maybe I should have gave it to somebody. But he was like, no, 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 you should get something. Um, but yeah, we'll see. If nobody submits anything for a week, maybe I'll end up keeping it for myself if no one participates. But I'm hoping that the more we get that out there, the more they will. But anyway, if you're interested in trying to get one of those codes, the main stipulation is you do need to be on one of my Twitter followers. I don't require you to retweet it or anything. But it's just easier for me to keep track of who's done what. And do try and reply to the tweet itself. Siskwe had a little trouble. I think it was the way um, replied. She removed some of the text to make room for her description, and I think that might have worked it up. So if you have a lot of stuff you want to add to it, I would say just reply with the picture and then reply to that with any extra information you want to throw out. Um, but yeah, so we have the Friday freebie coming up. We've already had 2 winners so far. I think that was Feladia or Feladea, and then Siskwe won last week. And I think we've got about 6 or 7 more to go. So that's what I'm going to be using for the Friday freebie for a little while now. So be sure and check out for that. Again, it's a code that you actually claim on the WildStar your account management page. It's not something I'm giving you. It's something that Carbine provided to me. You claim it from the website, you go to your account inventory, and then you claim it on one of your characters, and it gives you like 30 plus pieces. It includes like the Sky remodel, if I remember correctly, the cotton candy one, I think, and like tons of the Winterfest decor, from the gifts, the stockings, fireplace, some of the trees, I think even. It's just a ton of stuff. So if you missed out on Winterfest, or you just are really hoping to get a hold of some of those as extras, this is your chance. This is your opportunity, so don't waste it. So yeah, as well, I'm going to try and do the house tours this week, but I can't guarantee it's going to specifically land on Wednesday. It's just going to depend on how I feel on a given morning as to when and how long and all of that. It may just be 1 or 2 houses even, kind of keep it shorter than usual. Um, but the intention is we will be visiting Jabot EU homes this week, because last week we went to Entity, I believe. So again, if you have a home, know of a home, have a friend that has a home, a guildmate that has a home that we have not toured yet, either region, and you think it deserves a bit of attention, feel free to message me again, whatever way is comfortable for you, convenient for you, to let me know about it. I'm happy to take down those names. I can't promise when I will get to them because we already have growing queue for EU, for entity, and we have a very lengthy one for EU. I think there's like something like 30 that are actually ready to be toured and like 80 something that are works in progress that I'm keeping track of. So again, if you let me know, there's no promises it'll be an early kind of viewing, but I will get to it eventually, I promise. So I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for joining. I hope it gave you a little bit of idea or something. Again, I'm sticking with the books kind of theme, so that might be a little boring after a while, but maybe it gives you some ideas for other items that work similar to the books. This flat piece, it's almost like you can turn anything into a building block. So it's just that I happen to be stuck on books right now. So anyway, if I don't see you tomorrow, which is likely, I hope you guys have a great few days. And just again, if you want to keep up to date on any cancellations that I have to do, be sure and check out my Twitter feed. Even if you decide not to follow, you can always check it out. And that's where I'll be putting up notices. So in the meantime, have a great day. Good luck with your projects, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.